In this episode of New Jersey Living, we are making a return visit to Plainfield, New Jersey, and we are in front of one of the hot spots downtown in Plainfield, New Jersey. So this is Queen City Roasters behind me. This is a spot that has just blossomed and bloomed wonderfully. They even have an expansion going on at this point in time. Right now, it's more of a smaller cafe, but they're opening up additional space that's sort of a connection. It used to be office space, so it's going to be even more room to bring in guests and customers. So Queen City, I don't know how long Queen City Roasters has been here. I would speculate roughly 3 to 5 years. Not 100% sure. So if you're here in Plainfield and you know for sure, let me know. My wife is a frequent customer here. I like it because they get the pastries from the German bakery, which if you see my Hoboken episode, we visited that spot in the Hoboken Eats episode of that particular YouTube episode. So here, flash up a few photos of the interior. Wonderful spot. A lot of people come here just to have some coffee, of course, but work, just hang out, lounge. And this has rapidly become like one of those feature go-to spots downtown. I'm just going to pan around downtown a little bit. You see we're directly across from the police station, and we're off of this is Watchung Ave that runs through downtown. We are literally 1 block away from the train station. So this is the second episode that we are covering the Queen City, which is Plainfield. We're going to take a look at some properties. We're going to dive back into some of the features about Plainfield and why this is a very attractive market for a lot of buyers who are looking for quality neighborhoods and really are not set on higher demand locations that may be either closer to the city or have school ratings that are a little bit different. But again, we'll dive into that in my next stop when we dive into the big three, right? So definitely if you are in the area in Plainfield, it is worth a stop at Queen City. I can tell you, I spoke to the owners just recently, was here over the weekend, and yeah, they just gave some real interesting insights on coffee and flavoring and things like that. I seem to always learn something when I talk to people who are here and they're coffee connoisseurs and I'm really not. So maybe it's just me being unaware of coffee, but they always share some very good insights here. So we are going to reconnect at the next stop and we'll dive into the big three. I'll see you there. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent here in New Jersey with Coldwell Banker and team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. We endeavor to deliver content just like this to you on a weekly basis, and our goal is to provide 5-star content that reflects our 5-star ratings in our Google reviews. So if you're looking to learn all things New Jersey, the real estate market, places to dine, social entertainment scenes, iconic locations, then this is the channel for you. So go ahead and click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to stay updated on all the new material and episodes when we deliver this new content to you on a weekly basis. So today, as I mentioned in our first segment, we are doing a revisit to the Queen City, aka Plainfield, New Jersey. We were downtown in just a previous scene where Queen City Roasters is located. Our first episode, we started downtown Plainfield as well. That would have been last year, almost a year ago, actually. So here we are back again. We are at a different station. We are at the Netherwood station. So Plainfield does have 2 train stations. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the big 3 because that is something I've learned a lot of listeners or viewers, I should say, are always looking into. Speaking of listeners, I do have some exciting information coming up, but I'll hold that off towards the end. So big 3 for those who may be new to viewing this channel. There are 3 primary factors that weigh into demand for purchasing property in New Jersey. Those 3 items would be 1, proximity to New York City, 2, does it have a local train station in town, and 3, the school rating. So starting off with proximity, I'll point Plainfield out on the map right here, flash that up. Plainfield is certainly within an hour drive to get into Midtown or even downtown Manhattan. So not a difficult commute at all by car. Both trains get to the city in under an hour. If you were to do the bus line, the express line runs through town, and that is a little over an hour because of stops, not so much because of distance, but with the stops and with the traffic that you navigate here in this region of the country every day. A little bit over an hour, but it's a convenience factor still. All right, so that is certainly a check mark for proximity. Train station, we already know. Netherwood Station's right here behind me, and we have the downtown station, which is just Plainfield Station. So check mark there. Schools, as you may recall from my first episode, the school ratings on niche.com are relatively low for Plainfield Public Schools, so that is not going to get a check mark in terms of area of demand where people are moving to because of the school system. But with that being said, even with that factor not being a prevalent or prevailing factor that draws buyers in, there are some absolutely gorgeous, fabulous neighborhoods here in Plainfield, New Jersey, and they are very, very, I wouldn't say economical from the standpoint of price points, because if we were to leave Plainfield for the same type of home and go into neighboring town of Scotch Plains or the next town over in Westfield, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference in market value. All right, and really that comes down to schools. All right, because those are two places where they have high rated schools that do create a demand from families that are looking for that public school experience. So that has nothing to at all in terms of quality of neighborhood, quality of town, because I would certify it's a check mark on both of those. So I'm going to walk a little bit from where I am right now because I wanted to point out something that is happening, and I've mentioned this before in some other episodes. Anywhere in New Jersey where there is a train line, there has been significant development over really probably the past 5 to 8 years. If there is a train station nearby and if there is available land nearby, then there is going to be a development of some kind nearby. Sometimes it's retail. Many cases it's like what you're going to see right here as I pan around a little bit. You see a new apartment complex. Now, I do remember when in that complex, there was a larger home/business. I believe it was zoned as commercial, but still it was more of a larger property. I'm gonna pan up just a little bit, get a bit of a view. I know the sun glares coming in as well. But this was certainly a property where you would not look at it and think, oh, apartment building and go there necessarily, but it was a very deep lot, relatively wide, was eventually purchased, and lo and behold, you have that right here. Just pan around a little bit more. Fire station's right there, right, and then train station, and another plug too. It's a really good Jamaican food spot here, right here down the block. But this is what you see anywhere in New Jersey, particularly the northeastern corridor and central corridor of New Jersey. If there is a train station nearby, you're going to see this kind of development. And there's, from a resident standpoint, some are in favor because it does bring in some degree of new life into the community with new people, but at the same time, many of these new residents are somewhat transient. So it's not as though they're coming and living long-term in town. And then there's infrastructure questions as well, like with sewage and everything else that comes with larger populations when you have a densely populated building that adds to population. So how does that translate to infrastructure with adding another, let's say, in just a 3 or 4 block radius, adding another 80 households, families for an apartment scenario, for example, to that area with traffic and everything else. So there's ups and downs. There's two sides to that coin, if you will, with some of these developments. Some cases they do bring in a lot of new life with business as well, however. So this is something that Plainfield has definitely been experiencing over the past 5 years, and it's continuing to trend in that direction. So there is certainly an uptick, hence the title Queen City Rising for this particular episode, because this town has continued to experience transition in a positive direction over the past several years. And there's still more ground to cover, of course, but it's been going in a very positive direction overall. So we're going to take a leap into neighborhood. I know when people think quality of neighborhood, if you know or heard of Plainfield, you may automatically think of Sleepy Hollow. We're not going to visit Sleepy Hollow at all today. And it's not so much that was intentional as to what we're looking at with the properties, because we always focus on last 30-day sales. There's not a lot of turnover in Sleepy Hollow in general, because those who buy there tend to stay there long term. But we are in one of the neighborhoods that's neighboring to Sleepy Hollow, but still absolutely gorgeous neighborhood with relatively affordable prices. So we're going to hop over there in just a few minutes. I'll see you once I get to the first stop. Enjoy the road footage along the way. Here we are at our first stop, 1143 Stilford Ave. So this is a property that you just take a look at it. I'll flash a couple photos up as well. Very well maintained property. I just had a long conversation with a neighbor over here, so got some wonderful insights just about the street, the block, and some more broader community conversation as well. 1143 was listed at basically at 380, sold at 420, slightly above actually, but on the market 9 days, right? So this gives you an idea of, as I've been saying all along in so many episodes, even with the increase, the hike in interest rates, which we're probably looking at another one coming up. It's October right now, 2023. Even with the rates hovering right around 8, we still have movement on anything that is movement ready. So this one was 2 bed, 1 bath. I'm gonna provide some interior footage now, not on channel, but it'll be in the link. So there's a realtor.com link right here in the description that you can click on. Take a look at some of the interior photos. I'm going to pan around just a little so you get a feel for the block and the general neighborhood. So this is a wonderful, wonderful tree-lined street, gorgeous neighborhood. They made a purchase, albeit 2-bedroom, but a gorgeous setting with 2 bedrooms in total. All right, so this gives you a little bit of that feel of what a 400 purchase gets you right here in Plainfield. So let's get some more road footage and I'll see you at the next stop. Here we are at our second stop. We're on Thornton Ave and we're not quite in front of the property yet. We're making our way that way. And as I had referenced before, this is one of my overall favorite sections in Plainfield. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you hear a lot about Sleepy Hollow as one of the premier or the premier neighborhood in Plainfield, which is no arguing on my end with that. But I'm just gonna pan around a little bit as we are about to cross the street here so you can see our next property, which is 1228 Thornton Ave. And this is directly down the street from where we started on Stilford. So Stilford is this section right here, and we are probably about 10 houses down from where we started on Stilford. So this particular property is definitely indicative of that Tudor feel, albeit it's colonial style, really. I want to try to avoid as much sun glare as I can, so I'm not going to stay in this given spot, but I wanted to give a pretty decent profile view of the property. So 1220 Thornton Ave, 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, was listed at $609 and sold at $614, and was on the market really about 1 month. Photos are right here in the description. Definitely worth taking a click. Just like I mentioned before, click that link, that realtor.com link, browse through some of those interior photos. This was a very, very well maintained property. This type of property, bargain price because of the location because of us being in Plainfield. So absolutely a wonderful buy for 4-bed, 2.5 bath in this kind of condition and in this kind of neighborhood location. Going to pan around a little slowly right here so you can get the full feel here. All right, so taxes roughly 12, but again, think if or take a look at some of my episodes in, like, say, South Orange or say Montclair or like a Maplewood, Westfield, not only would it be a much higher price point, but the tax number will be totally different from this as well. So that's something to consider also. So this is reflective of what I consider to be very much a highlight kind of purchase for a buyer that wanted to buy something at the right price and was flexible on location from the standpoint that schools were not a factor that was going to deter from this particular location, because the trains are still here, express bus is still here, proximity is here. It's just a matter of that school dynamic, and if that is an important factor for the new buyer. All right, so this is stop number 2. We have 2 more really right around the corner from where I am now. So enjoy some more road footage. I'll see you at the next stop. So stop number 3 lands us in front of 1417 Marlboro Ave. And as you might be able to tell a little bit from the exterior here, this is a total renovation that took place this year. This property, 4-bedroom, 1 bath, 1 half bath, was listed at basically $549, sold at $581, 12 days on the market. Taxes were under 10 on this one. It's just a matter of will that number still remain under 10 after some renovation. Usually that factors in whether a basement was finished, whether there was a bathroom that was added. The floor plan is roughly the same. I wouldn't expect anything dramatically different. I'm gonna pan around here just so you get a little bit of a feel of the neighborhood. We are across the street from the high school field, which is Stubhine Field here in Plainfield. A lot of residents will use the track to walk around. That actually is a better view of the park, not the park, the field, in my initial Plainfield video, because I'm on location on Randolph where you can see the tennis courts. But this property has, as you can see down the driveway, 2-car detached garage. And again, everything here is new. Every entire interior is new. So think about this, a 4-bedroom colonial that is totally renovated with a 2-car detached garage, selling under $600, which goes back to that price point dynamic that I mentioned before. This is an area, as the listing really marketed, that it's close to Sleepy Hollow. The road, which you may not be able to see too well behind me, is Woodland Ave, and Woodland Ave is sort of that boundary line, if you will, where you cross over into the Sleepy Hollow section. But this section of Plainfield, absolutely gorgeous neighborhoods with buys that are bargain relative to other towns in the surrounding community in Union County, where we are, and definitely wouldn't even compare when it comes to Essex County in terms of what you look at in terms of price point with taxes, as well as the housing cost itself. Pan up just a little bit, get some of that profile. So we have one more stop to make, literally on the next block, and I'm gonna take in some more road footage on the way over. I'll see you there. We're at our final stop on Chetwynd Ave, approaching the property that we're going to feature for our last property discussion. So this is 1339 Chetwynd, and I'm about to walk right in front now. Also give a little pan of the neighborhood. This is 1339 right here behind me, panning around, just giving you a feel for the general neighborhood aesthetic. And I'm going to walk right out into the front of the property, give a little profile view up here. And this particular property was listed slightly under 600,000. I'm going to flash up the both list price and sale price, and you'll see they're pretty much match almost. This property still did not last on market very long. This one was one where the buyer was responsible for obtaining the CO. And what is the CO? CO is a general term that we use for a certificate that's issued by the township that certifies that everything meets code, primarily the safety oriented items. So if a property, even if it's well maintained, but if the owner is not looking to do any kind of repairs, which it was marketed that that was the case for this particular property, they will say upfront buyers responsible for any CO related items. So although it's 5 bedroom, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, and that's a lot for under 600. It was marketed because there's been certainly a level of maintenance have been done by the owner, but there are still probably some things to be done. Take a click again at the link in the descriptions to see what those interior dynamics look like for this given property. But again, same general neighborhood if we've seen of the other 3 properties prior to this one, but this one required a little bit more probably upgrade and a little love and touch along the way once that new buyer comes in to occupy. All right, so I'm gonna take one more pan of the neighborhood because it's certainly worthwhile to get this kind of view. Just lovely setting. All right, so this concludes our second Plainfield episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Take a look at the other one if you have not seen that initial episode, because you have to go back a ways now because we've been doing these episodes for well over a year. So you have to go back a little ways, and we're overlapping some places now because we're a year out, different kind of market than where we were last year. So thank you again for joining. Please do click like, subscribe, and the notification bell if you're not already part of this New Jersey Hunter family. All right, so drop in some comments, some requests, any questions, any suggestions. Welcome them all. Just again, keep it positive, and we're all good. All right, so we still have many more episodes to come. We have podcasts rolling out very soon, so stay tuned for those as well. We're looking to dive into some topics with a little greater detail. All right, so if you're looking, of course, buy, rent, or even sell, so sellers or homeowners, I'm not even going to call you a seller, homeowner. If you don't know the market value of your property, you should know. It's a major investment. Reach out. My team will provide you with a valuation of your property just to know your value, even if you're not looking to sell anytime soon. But if you're looking to buy or you're looking to rent also, feel free to reach out, and I will gladly offer just insights, or will certainly offer my services if I can help. All right, so thanks again. Stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.